Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I have another video lecture for you guys today, and today's topic is going to be on relative motion, and this is going to be our last topic in the kinematics unit before we move on to our next unit. So today, as I said, we'll be talking about relative motion, and let's start with relative motion in one dimensions. So relative motion focuses on the differences between reference frames. So in other words, the velocity of certain particles depend on the reference frame of whoever is observing or measuring that velocity, say. So how we see positions or displacements and velocities really comes down to what reference frame we're working with. And usually we take it for granted that our reference frame is the ground, for example, or our reference frame is ourself. So in many cases, we think that, this is the only way that we can observe this particle moving. However, that's not always the case. For example, let's say you see a car moving in your reference frame. The person in the car sees you moving in their reference frame, but in the opposite direction. So that's what the effect of reference frame has on our measurements. So a reference frame is basically a physical object to which we attach a coordinate system. In our everyday life, for example, like I said, that object could be the ground. Now let's look at this graph on the bottom right corner here. So let's say we have a frame A over here, and this frame A is at rest, and it is watching a certain particle P speed past. In another frame, frame B, it has this constant velocity V. V, let's call it BA because it's the velocity of frame B with respect to A. And frame B is driving along, let's say, at a constant speed and also watching the car P. And suppose that they both want to measure the position of this particle. We're going to call it a car at a given moment. So from this graph, we can see that the position of the car relative to A is just the position of the car relative to B, which is this distance over here, plus the position of B relative to A, which is this distance here. So we just add those two up to get the total distance, which would give us the position of P. So this gives us an important relationship between the positions between the different coordinates or reference frame for our purposes. So what this tells us is that the coordinate xPA of P as measured by frame A is equal to the coordinate xPB of P as measured by frame B plus the coordinate of B as measured by A. So if we take the time derivative of this equation, we have d over dt of xPA, and that gives us d over dt of xPB plus d over dt of xBA. And what does that give us? So from our previous videos, and if you've taken calculus, we know that this would just give us the velocity. So that means the velocity components are again related in the same way. So the velocity of P in frame A is equal to the velocity of P in frame B plus the velocity of B from frame A. So in these examples, we're only considering frames that move at a constant velocity relative to each other. For example, in our example here, frame B has a constant velocity VBA relative to A. So that means that they have a relative velocity that is constant to each other. However, that does not mean that the other particle P cannot have an acceleration. Particle P can very well change its speed and direction, or accelerate in other words. And how we find the acceleration of particle P is again just by taking the time derivative of our velocity equation this time. And if we take the derivative of the velocity, we get that A PA equals A PB plus ABA. However, because the velocity of frame B is constant, this just comes out to 0. And we get this equation over here, which tells us that observers in different frames of reference moving at a constant velocity relative to each other will always measure the same acceleration for a moving particle, which is a pretty important thing to remember. So now we're going to move on to relative motion in 2 dimensions. So things here work very similarly to how they were in relative motion in 1 dimensions, except now we're working with vectors. So again, we're going to focus on this graph on the bottom right corner, where we have 2 observers watching the same particle P from their different origins of reference, frames A and frame B. So again, frame A over here is at rest, while frame B is again moving at some constant velocity VBA, which is a vector in this case relative to A. So let's say we are some certain instant during the motion, and at that instant the position vector of the origin B is relative to the origin of A, with RBA as a position vector. And then we have the position vector of B relative to the different reference frame. We have RPA of the position vector of P relative to frame A, and RPB of the particle P relative to frame B. So from this arrangement, we can see that this position vector over here, RPA, is simply the vector addition of these 2 vectors over here. So if you've watched our previous lectures on vectors, we can just see that this is a head to tail arrangement of adding vectors together, and RPA is just the sum of the 2 other vectors. And by taking the time derivative of this equation, again, like we did with the 1D motion, we arrive at the relationships between the velocity vectors of particle P relative to our observers. And again, we get that the velocity vector of P relative to A is just the sum of the velocity vectors of P relative to B and B relative to frame A. And if we again take the time derivative of this entire equation, we arrive at the acceleration equation for our reference frames. However, because again, the velocity of BA is constant, the acceleration of B relative to A would also be 0. So that's why we only have 2 terms here, which again tells us that observers on different reference frames moving at constant velocities relative to each other will always measure the same acceleration for the moving particle, which in this case is particle P. Okay, so that was it for the last section of the kinematics unit. I hope you've learned something new today. Stay tuned for our next unit, which will be on Newton's laws.